Hello, folks. We're back here at the master bath doing the baseboard tile. So the tile that I'm using is this 4-inch, basically subway tile. And then I'm using Schroeder edging, which is this metal edging here. And this serves as the top surface of the tile, like so. So I'm going around the corners and laying out the tiles, and I'm going to be using white caulk between the edging and the paint, and in the corners here just to tidy up the corners a little bit. But that's basically the procedure going around. I'm just laying them out right now, and then we'll mortar them in a bit. And we'll see how it works. Should be all right. Fortunately, a full 16-inch tile fits in that corner with 1/8 of an inch to spare, which is great for, or 1/4 of an inch for the tile joining from that angle. And then I cut a little piece of tile right under there because that door is, the outside of the frame is 16 inches. So I don't know, I couldn't have planned that better. So that all fits great. And I think I have enough of this edging to do this. So I got three full pieces left to go around to the door. All right, we'll see how it goes. Thanks. All right, hello folks. So I've got some updates here. I haven't been filming a lot, but the last segment I filmed, I think I was cutting and fitting the pieces in for the baseboard here. So I've got the baseboard all put in. It looks fine. It's got this European feel to me. I'm not sure that I would do this again. I prefer the traditional bullnose where the tile just comes up and then it curves into the wall as the top edge. But the challenge with this was cutting these, the trim pieces that go, the aluminum Schluter trim piece that goes across the top. It is nice that it's a solid edge instead of having joints on the top, but it did require 3 different materials to fill in the cracks. I've got the grout colored caulk. It's a silicone based caulk. And then of course the grout fills in the vertical joints and the horizontal joint, and then regular white paintable caulk on the top in case I need to go back and paint the trim, or down to the trim to make it look nice. But so it was kind of involved. The problem with the bullnose tile is that each piece is more expensive. These pieces are $2 a piece. Bullnose tile is $8 a piece. So go figure. We also, in this case, paying about 25 bucks for each of the Schluter trim pieces on the top here. So, pick your poison. It's either more difficult or more expensive, whatever. Otherwise, I have the lamps and the mirrors in. I got the toilet in, and the heated towel rack. Of course, I'm going to clean up the cord here, but the other challenge has been this standalone faucet for the bathtub. The hoses that came with it are too long, and based on the directions, the directions implied that the nipples needed to be about around the surface of the tile. Other drawings that I found online show otherwise. So, however, the importer was extremely gracious and accepted an order for shorter hoses at no cost. So I got to give him that credit. That was pretty awesome. I'll still have to add some standoff to this to raise it up about maybe an inch or half an inch, and then do something with the hoses because the two nipples are a little far apart, and so the hose won't go through. The hose connections are going to have a hard time with the diameter of that bronze fitting at the bottom. So anyway, I still have to figure that out before I can put it in the tub. I've done the laying of the tile for the shower floor. Turned out relatively well. I'm going to grout that next. And then after this hardens, then I can start tiling the shower. Luckily, the 3-inch subway tile that we have, fortunately, the going from the very bottom and working my way up is going to have an advantageous impact on the height, where an even number of tiles will fit from the floor to the top of the seat. And then the edges of this niche also fall within the boundary of a tile. So I won't have like super thin pieces of tile, for example. I think the thinnest piece of tile I'll have is going to be about 3/4 of an inch. So, if you have a sliver of tile that's only like 1/8 of an inch or half an inch or 1/4 inch, that becomes very difficult to cut with the diamond blade because such a thin piece is gonna break. And also, when it reaches the top, I'll be within 1/8 of an inch, even with the 1/8 inch spacers between the 3-inch tile. Going from down there all the way up to here, I'm actually within 1/8 of an inch of reaching the top of this wall. So that worked out really nice. So I'll have solid widths all the way down, except the very bottom, I'm going to have to cut maybe 1/8 of an inch off the bottom of the tile. But going up, everything works out really well. So anyway, looking forward to getting this thing done. This has been a long road. All right, shower floor is complete. It's ready to take water. Just wanted to also give you a little summary of when I did the trim, some areas that I needed to put in some, what do you call it, filler. That was the worst corner. And of course, caulk and filler goes a long way. These corners here turned out really nice, so not too shabby. Anyway, it's getting there. All right, so here's a view of the bathroom as it stands. We have the bathtub and the standing faucet, and you see some blue tape that I'll be using for the top edge of the bottom tiles of the floor. The bottom of the blue tape is level. I've double checked that many times, and the point of the blue tape is that I'll put thin set up and onto the blue tape and then take the tape off, and that becomes my edge that the top of the tile needs to be at. And that way I'm making all the tops of the bottom tiles at the same level. And then when I go back and start adding rows on top, things will be following suit.